the starters playing this week?
We don't really know yet. Coaches, we're going through a normal week of practice, and we're gonna kind of fill it out, I think. But we're trying to get in the mentality of a regular season now. Like Wednesday install and all those type of things. So we're trying to get more of a normal week, but we still have some camp elements too. We're still going to compete a little bit against ones versus ones and stuff like that in practice.
He said he wanted to talk to you guys. Do you want to play though? Do you feel like it's important for this first team to get out there?
Whatever the coach wants. You know what I mean? I feel like I've played a long time in this league where I'm ready to go when they call my name. I've played in the preseason before. I've been hurt and not played in the preseason before. So I've had experience with both, and I feel like I'm ready. But Coach Safanski, Andrew Barry, they're all smart guys. They're gonna do what they need to do and have us ready to go.
Joel, in the past, have coaches at this stage asked the players before, Browns coaches, like, you guys feel you're all right, or do you want to play? Does that conversation go on?
I've never been asked that. I think it's usually a plan. Maybe certain guys, maybe certain positions and stuff like that. But me personally, usually the lineman, if your quarterback plays, you're playing type of thing. So that's kind of how it goes.
How close do you think you guys are right now to being ready and where you want to be going into September 12th?
Yeah, I think New York Giants week last week was a good week. You had some talented players and a good defense, honestly, for our offense to go against. They're a little different front than we're used to in training camp. But I think we're getting close. We still have a few weeks left, so we have some time to iron out the kinks. But we're getting there, and I think we're starting to see more people in the offense. Guys are coming back on defense, from tiny bang ups and stuff. And so I think we're getting close. Obviously we're going to use all the time we have to get ready though.
Do you think there was too much time for this camp? Rookies reported, I think, July 24th, and the opener wasn't until September 12th. It seems like this was an elongated camp.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I know they've done a good job of, even when they don't give guys days off, like yesterday wasn't an intense practice. You know what I mean? So they've done it where it's like you have some intense days, you have some easier days, and you kind of ramp it up. I know we have tons of sports scientists and everything like telling us how we're supposed to get our bodies right, and football is one of those things, like no matter how much I run personally in the season, like until you start getting those 5 or 6 plays in a row on the practice field, you don't really start getting into football shape. So you do need a little bit of time to get into football shape.
Isn't it going to seem like 2 weeks after that game in Atlanta, isn't that going to seem like it's going to drag out before you finally get the
Yeah, we usually have that, last preseason game, and then we get that 3 or 4 day weekend where college football's starting up and stuff, and you kind of take a break, and then you kind of go into the game week. But I think they have a plan. I don't think we're going to go all out, you know what I mean, on that first week, and we'll that first week, and then we go into second. But we'll have a lot of time to get ready for Kansas City, and they'll have a lot of time to get ready for us.
Hey Joe, we asked you about Jed when we first talked to you, but now you've had another training camp with him, and he said he feels like when he watches this film as his rookie year, it was trash, and he's so much better now. Like, do you see that huge jump with him?
Oh yeah. Last year he was just trying to figure out how to be a left tackle. You know what I mean? He was going against OV and Miles every day in one-on-ones and stuff, and there was some rough film, to watch and go over. And now he's battling. I mean, he still has to go against Miles and Jadeveon, so it doesn't get much easier. But he's had time and he's developed, and he's a left tackle now. And now he's just refining some of those things, and he understands, like, he did some really good things, but to take the next step, there's a couple little things that he's been really working on in training camp, and you can see that he's focused on those and really, making those strides.
And when you talk about, listening to the coaches, whether it's playing in the preseason, just getting ready for the regular season, is it easier to trust them because of what Kevin did in his first year and what, looks like Andrew knows what he's doing? You know what I mean? Like, you've had a bunch of coaches come through here. Is it easier to trust these guys?
Yeah, and I mean, you see it around the league. Like, some teams, the Sean McVay coach teams don't play anybody in the preseason starters, but then you have Andy Reid, who's obviously a good coach, and play everybody in the preseason. You know what I mean? So I think it's everything in life. There's multiple ways to do it, but you do have faith in the coaching staff and the front office to put us in good positions.
What about the timing of the offense? Are we more concerned about that than you guys?
I think so. I think we've gotten a lot of timing out, and I know Baker's been working with these receivers like nonstop, and the running backs and stuff. And I know Adele has gotten tons of routes with Baker in training camp in the off season and stuff. So I think they feel good. I mean, I'm not one to speak on like route timing and stuff like that, but I know the O-line's got a lot of full speed reps out there against some good defenses. So we'll see where we're at the end of the week though.
Joe, have you had any one-on-one reps or any reps against this number 58, Malik McDowell? What are your observations about that?
I don't think I've gone against him too much, but you could tell like why he was a second round pick. You know, when you see him play, like he's big, he's explosive, he has power, but he has enough quickness to like get your edge as well. If one guy's one dimensional, it's a little bit easier to stop a guy, but no, he's done some really good things. I think you guys saw in the preseason game, like he was pretty disruptive out there, and done some things. Jack Conklin, who played with him, you know, for a little bit at Michigan State, was saying that he looks like he's becoming his old self again, which is, you know, pretty good. So, you know, the more guys you have that are big, strong, quick on your D line, that's always a positive.
Joe, you guys ended 2 long droughts last year, and you're positioned this year to obviously compete for the AFC North. What would it mean to do that? Is that a goal to win the division?
Yeah, I think that's the easiest way to get in the playoffs is win your division, and as a team, you know, we're really taking it 1 week at a time, but you know those games count for more. You know, you can go. We've seen it with the NFC East. You know, the team hasn't been that dominant, but they get into the playoffs, and once you're in the playoffs, like you don't know what's going to happen. So that's always a goal, is to win your division. I know we have some. You know, I feel like every year you look at it and you have some real tough competition. You know what I mean? The AFC North is always tough, and I think it's not going to change this year.
Along those lines, John Johnson was saying yesterday, coming over from the NFC West, that this is different football. He sees fullbacks, tight ends, what have you. I know this is the only division you've ever known, but are the AFC North games different?
Yeah. Well, I've only played in the AFC, like you said,
when
but
you play against teams from the other.
right. There's just physicality about it. You know what I mean? I know other teams have fullbacks and things like that, but there's a physicality, and I think it just starts with like the mentality of like Baltimore's defense, Pittsburgh's defense, and the players that they have on their defense have kind of made it that way. And then, you know, you bring in running games like ours in Baltimore, like it kind of has to be physical, or you know, nothing's going to happen out there. So it's a physical division for sure, and you have you know those Sundays it's a little bit tougher than other ones.
What have you learned about Kevin Safanski? I know you had him last year, but now you're in meetings, in personal meetings, around him every day. Have you learned anything in this camp?
Same guy every day. You know, he comes out and he's the same guy he was on Zoom last year, the same guy he was at practice. He's about the work, you know. He's player friendly in the sense that he can talk to you, and we you know, you have these relationships with him where he does trust you and he takes your input, but he's also like, hey, we got to get working. Like we have to improve, we have to do this stuff, and every day, every meeting starts with work, and that's kind of what we're about here. And so, you know, I think that's one word to describe him. He's about that, and but he's just the same dude. He comes out and he's ready to go, and it's really just fun to be around him.
Has he loosened up any?
Yeah, I mean, we have some conversations, you know, before practice starts and stuff like that. But once we get going, like he's all ball.
Random question, Joel, and you can't answer yourself for this.
Okay.
If there was a player on your team that could play both ways today, offense and defense, who would it be? Why?
There's a few. I mean, Miles is probably the obvious choice. Like, he can probably play any position he wants. But I would go Nick Chubb, like put him at linebacker or strong safety or something like that. He'll probably be a great player. Kareem Hunt, too. Those running backs are, I mean, you look at them in the weight room, like they're freaky strong, figure fast. So one of those guys, probably.
They could stick it to people as linebackers or
Oh, yeah.
safeties.
Yeah, they'll find a way. And I would definitely not want to play two ways. I'm not in that type of shape.